What's up, everyone? Stumblzz here, and we are back with Rent-A-Car Simulator 24. And fun fact, this game has made me think of just rental car industry in general. And I was doing some research, and I found out that the industry was initially pioneered by a guy named Joe Saunders in 1916, and he started in Omaha, Nebraska, with I think 10 Model T Fords. So the reason I did that, and I kind of looked up that little tidbit, was because this game has made me realize that it's a grind and not the case as it was back then with Joe Saunders. So Joe Saunders charged 10 cents per mile for his 10 Model Ts, and then that exploded, and he went on to have a rather substantial rental car business. And I think if I remember correctly, let me just take a look. So in 10 years, so from 1916 to 1926, Joe Saunders grew his rental car company to 56 cities. It took him 10 years from 1916 to 1926. That is bonkers. I feel like it would take us 10 years to get 10 cars. Don't get me wrong. The game is fun. It has some entertaining factors. It's got scantily dressed women all over the game. It's got some cool cars that we can't seem to get to yet. And we've got this one here, so we can't look at that. We got to talk to her. We talked to the owner. This is a $442,000 car. I have 77 grand. I have no more rentals. I did some grinding off screen. I sold all of our cars because it was the only way I figured we could get to the amount of money that we needed to get to buy nicer cars. And we have $77,000, and that'll get us some okay tier 2 cars, but not much other than that. Like this car here, it's a rare drift car, so cannot get this until I participate in an auction, the auction hall. Okay, that's different. And another thing about this game is, as I've been trying to grow and expand our empire, the neighbors that had all these cars before, they don't repopulate very regularly. So that poses a challenge when you're trying to actually grow your business here. If we go look at the car market, so here we are at the car market. You have the Roper, which is one that we regularly sell. Not a super great profit margin on that. You also have this guy right here. So we're barely covering. We can do it, but we're barely covering. So it's a $68,000 BNG. If we were to turn this into a rental, get $2,000 a day, that's all fine and dandy. That's a lot of days that you have to go by in order to get to a point where you can buy another one. So it's really a big upgrade and sell type of model. You got this one at $63,000, and then over here we've got this one at 70. So the last point that I left off, I sold our last car. This got us to the 77,000. So we could do some more of these upgrades, but I really wanted to just take a moment to review the game with y'all. Ultimately, it's a fun game. It has some entertainment value to it. I don't know what happened to the day. I totally went to sleep before we started this. But if we go to our office, there's just so much more potential for this game. And I hope the devs see this and they continue to work on it. Like, we haven't messed with our office space or anything like that, because I just feel like if I go in here and I start building, you're talking $1,000 per slab. So you have to place the marble foundation, marble floor. I don't know what the difference is with that. And then you got stairs. Like, that's just so much more money we're having to spend to get to a point where we can have a taller building. I don't fully know, and maybe there's more to it and I'm just not getting it. That's a very plausible scenario. But when you come in here, your licenses are super expensive. So your tier 2 is $50,000. You guys saw it took us a while to get to that 50 grand. And it took me quite a bit off screen to get to this $50,000 mark to be able to do this. Once I got there, though, I had to keep grinding. And that's not a big deal, but the car selection's limited at kind of this lower price range. You have this build section, which doesn't tell you really much of anything. You have a different house you can buy at 1.1 million. I don't know when you're getting to 1.1 million. You can change up your color for your office in the bills and the my cars, right? We don't have any. I just feel like there's so much more potential for this game, like the ability to maybe take out loans and be able to expand your fleet early on so you can start to generate that money. That's where my head's at with this. This is going to be the final episode. This is the review. Again, thanks for 2 Media for letting me play this and giving me the access to the game. But it's in a state where I say the longevity is limited, right? It could be much more expansive. Being able to hire employees, be able to have them go clean the car, fill it up with gas, maybe being able to charge a different pricing model, and then having a rating system that maybe impacts your customers or their willingness to pay a certain price. I don't know. And also like maybe like a junkyard or kind of like a used car lot where you can buy those cheaper cars 5 days out of the week, not a couple. That gives you the ability to generate the money quicker. With the neighbors not populating cars super quick, with the dealerships being closed a lot of the time, it's just not ideal to be able to grow quickly and get to the cool cars that you want to drive without spending an exhaustive amount of time doing it. Anyways, that's my thoughts on the game. It's fun, but for a short period of time, and then it's kind of repetitive. But you're going to run out of steam pretty quick. If you guys have a differing opinion, please let me know. I'm happy to hear it. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I'm doing something different than everyone else. I don't know. But Rent-A-Car Simulator 24, check it out. It's on Steam. It's still in early access. So take this review with a very large dose of salt. Not a grain of salt, a large dose of salt. Thank you all for joining. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you in our next early access game. But make sure you also join me for Planet Coaster 2 and Farming Simulator 25. Thanks again, everyone.